to KRA if they ask you a question. Capital allowances, these are deductions and allowances that can also help you reduce your tax liability. So this is mostly investment deduction, industrial building deduction, commercial building deduction. There's a lot of allowances and you earn a lot of tax remissions. But you need to do application and you also need a lot of representation for you to, because this is something, for instance, some of it will go 25 years, others 4 years. So there's an audit that happens for you to be able to go that. So if you're an organization, you're doing the industrial building, investment, we can also help you apply the capital allowances. I hope you can hear me. Did I lose somebody? Let me check. I don't know. Okay. You can hear me? Let me see. Just one yes. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you. So when it comes to pay as you earn, for employees, the pay as you earn, the tax saving strategies are on employees. This is where you take an insurance cover. So take an insurance cover. You also do a mortgage instead of a loan. You also register with a retirement benefit scheme. You contribute to a registered home ownership savings plan. All of those, because these are things that you're doing for your future. They always come back with a relief. There's always a relief. And when you apply them and you get those policies, you can bring those policies to your HR and they can input those details so that you reduce your pay on a monthly basis. If you're disabled or there's someone who is disabled in the organization or enabled differently, there is an exemption of the first 150 million per month from pay as you earn. From pay as you earn. So it is very important for you to help them get those exemptions. However, they are supposed to have the exemption certificate, so they can apply for the exemption certificate. The other tax saving strategies is proper record keeping. I mentioned that. Accuracy when filing, I've really talked about accuracy. When you're doing the monthly filing, the yearly filing, accuracy, there's no errors done by someone who understands, not done on the final day, like on 20th at night. That's when you're doing the auto population, no? And I always say that those returns, those records, they first act as audit triggers. So accuracy is important, understanding timelines, avoiding interest and penalties, and finally engaging a professional tax expert like us in the process of tax. What are some of the emerging issues? What are some of the emerging issues that are happening right now? I know we know about tax amnesty. So tax amnesty is ending June 2025, and it is covering periods until December 2023. So if you have penalties and interest and principal amounts for December 2023, uko nyuma, you can pay the principal amounts, then you can receive the tax amnesty. And I hope some of you are enjoying the amnesty. I guess we are about 4 months to the closure of that amnesty. You can take advantage and you can do that. And if you don't know how to do the tax amnesty, you can also talk to us. Emerging issues, others are reverse invoicing. I don't know how many of us have been able to do reverse invoicing. So e-teams now you can do reverse invoicing. You know the way someone come to sell you something and they tell you they don't have e-teams, they don't know how to operate. So you can read half. And these I've seen mostly in organizations like export where they are dealing with the farmers. So they tell the farmer, you have to have the e-teams invoice. And then the farmer says, we don't know how to do that. So they raise that. And it is very important to raise with consent from the person to the person that you're raising from. So, because on the other hand, how e-teams is operating is, if the company says we have to buy through e-teams and they do reverse invoicing, this sales is going to be reflected in this other person PIN. So at the end of the year, they are supposed to declare the business income and do those calculations and pay taxes. So the essence of e-teams is to signal that there was a business that happened during the year, so that you do business income and you pay due taxes. So for any person that raised an e-teams invoice last year, you need to declare those incomes. So we have e-teams. I know now we know about e-teams, and I guess that was the end of the training. Let me answer your questions. We know we have a lot of questions. We handled the tax trends last time. So for the people who are asking where is the checker, so when you go to iTax, you're going to see the control unit, checker, invoice number, checker. This was all, and I think even now it has more additions. So do those checkers before you pay for those e-teams invoices. And e-teams has so many forms that you can do. You can do the USSD code, the *222# hash. There's the e-teams online, which you download. There is the machine that you buy. You can do e-teams integrated. You can do e-teams on the iTax portal, on eCitizen, ziko nyingi. So you cannot say, I cannot be able to raise an e-teams invoice because I don't know how. Even if you go to a cyber, you're going to know how to, they are going to help you raise an e-teams invoice. And you can also raise it with your phone on the *222# hash, 222 hash. It will take you a minute to register and another minute to raise an invoice. So let me answer a few of your questions. Let me go back and answer a few of your questions. Let me go back to the space where I had left so that you can ask a question. So who is eligible to onboard e-teams? Everybody. If you're doing business in Kenya, everybody. E-teams, there's e-teams for non-VAT if you're not on the threshold, and VAT for other VAT. Even if you're doing zero-rated, exempt schools, any business in Kenya, you can onboard on e-teams. Please advise how the following: a manufacturing company has a lease factory and everything that the factory comes with at a monthly cost of the cost treated as rent expense every month or treated as lease asset and amortized. So Nasibo, so the lease is 10 million that covers the manufacturing, the whole plant and everything. Is it a lease, a rent, or lease assets? And how do we? I don't think it's a lease asset because these are payments that you're doing every single month. Are you doing 16% on that money, or is it an expense to the organization? I would want to hear more so that I can tell you on how to treat it. What documents do you have? As a director, can I give a loan to my company? Then I pay myself interest, which I will also use to reduce. Deka, I like your thinking, but those things will always create a lot of tax queries. That, first of all, that loan, that money that you're lending the company, where did you get it from? What are those other sources of income that you're having that you should be declaring? For verification of teams, how can I confirm if the supplier is in the special table on the point of sale? If by the time if you're put on special table, you cannot, even if you do your teams, it will not remit to KRA. So then go on iTax and check if those details are there. If they are not, don't pay, don't accept. So when that PIN is deactivated, you cannot raise. Even if you raise, it will not be remitted to KRA. So kindly check before you do the payments. Because at the end of the day, it will not auto-populate at the end of the month. So where will it leave a